And here I am in Melbourne City, here to see the amazing Meghna. We're walking into Fitness First Platinum, just up these stairs in Melbourne. So let's go and see how Meghna's going into profession as a personal trainer at Fitness First. Meghna.
Hello, Kevin.
Fitness professional, Meghna. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Meghna, we are here at this most magnificent health club, Fitness First.
Yes.
Platinum.
Yes.
Platinum. We'll talk more about that soon in Melbourne.
Yes.
And this is, what street is this on?
It's on Flinders Street.
On the Flinders Street. So if you want to see a beautiful health club, I walked in here, it's like walking into a whole new world. And you're a personal trainer here?
Yes.
Yes, and so tell me about what you're doing at the moment. You know, what are you doing? How many people are you training? Tell us a little bit about where you're at right now.
Sure. So I'm 6 months into, I guess, my work here at Fitness First. So I'm now a level 2 trainer. So I train under my company MegaFit. So I train 14 clients at the moment, most of them twice a week, range of goals.
So you're doing about 30 sessions a week?
30 sessions, and I'm quite quiet at the moment.
And you're building on that?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. So before the Christmas period, I was hitting the high 30s. So I did take some leave, but yeah, it's great. Range of people, men and women, all levels. So advanced right up to your beginners, and it's for all different types of reasons, whether it's someone doing something to feel good or someone wanting to maintain their health through pregnancy, or a corporate trying to look after their health alongside the work that they're doing. Wow. So it's really, really fulfilling.
So how much do you charge a session?
I'm $85 a session.
Oh, do the numbers on that. That's not a bad little bit of coin in the tin, is it?
No. It's
over a couple grand a week?
Yes. So I guess on top of that, it's more. It's a little bit more than my accounting salary, but what I get in terms of satisfaction and fulfillment and what I feel like I'm giving out to people is so much more. For a lot of people, it's not odd for me for someone to walk away from a session and say, that was a highlight of my week, thank you. Awesome start to my day, or I couldn't believe I could do that. Or, you know, people tearing up and getting emotional that, oh my gosh, I haven't been able to do this in 3 years. When you do real things like that, then I don't really check what I've made in the week.
Well, the money will come.
It's if you love what you do, you've got good intentions, you're really genuinely clear. So sometimes I'll just be walking around the floor and I'll see someone doing, you know, like say a lat pull down behind their head, and I'll be like, hey, do you know why you're doing that? I wouldn't be doing that because of X, Y, Z. Yeah. And that's a 2-second conversation. I guess just conveys your concern, and that's just how you get little highs all throughout your day.
Wow. So your whole life now is one big high?
Most of the time, yes.
Most of the time?
Yes, of course. It wouldn't be life without a little bit of a dip.
Oh, it makes you appreciate the highs, right?
Definitely. But the dips don't last that long, because you come in here, there's awesome energy, you get the right circle, and you love what you do.
Wow. So you mentioned before, for the people who are listening, the millions of people out there in the world listening, that you're an accountant. So tell us about your journey. How did you get from being an accountant to the fitness profession? Tell us that journey.
How do I put this? So my parents are both chartered accountants. My grandfather was a chartered accountant, so it was kind of I wouldn't say a predetermined path, but I was business orientated. So when I was 17 and left school, it was, hey, this will be a good idea for you. So I went through uni, and I wouldn't say I hated accounting, but I was good at it. And so when you're good at something, you kind of like it. You're like, oh, you know, I'm good at this. So left uni, and I'd started training at about 2021. I'd started training, and I was getting quite into it, and I loved the way that lifting weights made me feel. It made me feel strong and focused, and emotions that I couldn't get through, you know, accountancy. Started working, and I just really didn't like what I was doing. I understood, you know, theoretically what I was doing, but I was like, if this is life for the next 25 years, oh God, like, can this be over? So it wasn't like I'd wake up on a Monday and I'd be excited. It was literally counting down the hours, and then I was counting down to when I'd be able to train, when I'd be able to go for a run at lunch, or looking at, oh cool, I can do this movement now, or a video of what can I do next.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where I was doing some pretty incredible things, and I was starting to influence sort of people around me at work.
Yeah.
And I was coming up to the end of my chartered accountancy, and then I just confessed to a colleague that, hey, it would be really cool if I could just train all day, you know. And then actually my grad Lewis, he started boxing. That's right. So when he started boxing, he was like, Meg, so you should look into it. So then I sent my inquiry through to Max.
Yeah. And
it was all laid out there on paper that I could do it. And it was terrifying. Very, very terrifying.
What was that?
The familiarity of being in routine, the unknown of, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start all over again. How is it possible? Will my family be okay with it? Because it's a very un-Punjabi thing to do. It's a very un-Indian thing to do. And I was just terrified of doing what I wanted to do. So thought on it literally probably overnight to 2 nights, and I was like, you know what, I really want to do this. So I made sure I signed everything away and then went and talked to my family and said, hey.
So you committed, then told, I guess it's there's an old saying, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yes, exactly.
So how did you build up the courage? Because there's a lot of people who are in your situation where they're in a job which is safe and secure, and they have an iconic attachment to like an accountant or lawyer, and there's an expectation to stay there, but you're not really fulfilled, and they want to do something else, and to leave that safety net of something you don't want to the uncertainty of something you do want, and so what was the thing that pushed you over the edge to make that decision?
I wasn't an unhappy person. I wasn't ungrateful. I'd like to think I'm not spoiled or rude, but I was just really unhappy. Yeah. And I started to become this unpleasant person because I started nitpicking, oh, I don't like this, or I'd sigh when I'd get a file on my desk. So things that aren't really, I guess, qualities of a respectful person. And I know I'm a good person, but I need to be good to myself. Yeah. And if I force myself to do something I don't like, for the majority of my life, like we spend most of our time at working, then of course I'm going to be unhappy. And whose fault is that? My own. So it's, I guess, understanding that you deserve happiness, you deserve love, you deserve to be fulfilled. And it's just that first step. It's okay to say, hey, I'm stuck, please help. How can I do this? And Max was great for that. And understanding that, hey, I don't have to completely cut off, let's be practical about it. So I think September was when I started, and I said I'd start in December, started earlier, and then, slowly getting into it. So there's always a way out. It won't be easy, but I can guarantee if I could do this I was out in 9 months. Yeah. And completely redoing everything.
And you worked full time in that time as an accountant as you transitioned into the fitness profession.
Yeah. So it won't be easy, but it will be very satisfying. You won't regret it. If you believe you have something to offer people. Yeah. I believe everyone has a gift. So if you believe your gift is going to connect with other people, go for it. Yeah. Definitely.
So how did you manage that? Because a lot of people have full-time jobs, as you have, and that's quite a responsible position, accounting. You can't be off when it comes to numbers. So you had quite a responsible position, full-time position, and you had to find time to wedge into your life learning a new profession. And it took you 9 months. So how did you find that juggling or that putting those pieces together so you can have that transition?
I honestly just studied my routine. What's my routine? I get to the office I need to be in at 8:30, so there's plenty of time before 8:30. My lunch breaks, what am I doing? There's plenty of time there. Yeah. What am I doing after work? So making sure that I have downtime and that I prioritize what's important. So I requested to my managers if I could start work early, because that would mean that I would save time in traffic. So that saved me a good hour. So I started 7:30, finished at 4. saved me an hour. What did I do with that hour? I relaxed. I wasn't stressed in traffic. So instead of coming to work at 7:30, I'd be at work at 6 o'clock sometimes. So I would get a good hour of study done, prepare myself, and be focused, ready. So when my managers came in, they were like, oh, you know, she's already got her files open. So if I was sort of 10 minutes over time through lunch, it didn't matter because I was already ahead of the game. By the time lunch hit, I'd done everything I was required to do. I wasn't stressed, and yeah, I just had to wake up early.
I guess you don't get stressed when you're ahead of your chores.
No, and I was just really happy to see each module go through, and I would set out a target for the week. Cool, I know that in the month, towards the end of the month, I've got these things out at work, so I'm probably not going to be able to put through a little bit of time for my study at lunch. So cool, start of the month, I'll do maybe six modules, or I'll do 5, or I'll focus on these 2 big ones. So it's just planning, and then making sure you commit to yourself. So I always say to my clients, wake up and invest the best energy in yourself. So that's kind of what my alarm was. So my alarm's different. So back then it was best energy for myself. And then when I was scared, it was believe it and you'll make it. At the moment, it's do it for yourself, because I feel like a lot of energy is going out. So making sure I get time for myself. So that first thought when you wake up, you're like, yep, I know what I'm doing. I know what my objective is. So it's just prioritizing. There's always time. If it's important, you will make time.
Wow. And not only did you make time to obviously transition from accounting to becoming a fitness professional, you also competed in body physique and bikini competitions and figure competitions too. So tell us about that, because that's a lot of people say, why? And you found time to compete at a very elite level of body figure competitions.
It was something I did for myself. I just wanted to know if I had it in me. I trained that hard. Was it possible? So if I was to be honest with you, my routine was I would be up at 4:45. I would do my cardio. Sometimes I would listen to you at the same time. Efficiency.
And all the audios, because everyone's an audio,
Definitely. That way it was really useful because I could just load things up on my phone, or sometimes the anatomy, I wanted to see, different pieces, so they would just be stuck there. So that would be what I would carry around with me. So repetition. And then I'd get home, shower, and my meals would be done on the weekend. So literally I'd have about 45 minutes at home, grab my food out, get to my desk. I was just organised. So I had my notes at work for study, my food was organised. It was kind of just, I really liked it. I really liked what I was doing. And when you really like what you're doing, you'll give it your best. It was funny, the last 3 weeks, I was very busy at work because we had a manager leave and I had to take over a couple of things. I intensified my training. At the same time, I was like, I had a goal module that I wanted to get to before the show. Because I was going to take sort of a week and a half off my study. So I was like, I want to earn that break. What to do? Just push through it.
Wow.
So I was just tired of waiting to be happy. I was a 24-year-old that was just miserable for no reason. So
you had to get out.
Yeah. And the only way out is you need to do it. No one can make you do it. You need to find your reason why you want to do it.
So why did you pick maths?
To be honest, it just felt like the only place that cared about what you wanted, other than the fitness side. Like, getting your qualifications is fine, but actually receiving a call from someone and just discussing what you're feeling and knowing that, these thoughts they're not abnormal, and understanding, it just clarified, why do I want to be in the fitness profession? And then when I met Rowan yourself, it was quite overwhelming, if I can be honest. I was just like, wow, there's amazing people like this in the world. Like, it's possible to have a good circle of influence. It's possible to have positive people. So I'd always be like the most excited person in the office. And slowly, obviously, that went down, and it was like, really? Like, this is the kind of person that I've turned into, and I'm only at the start of my career.
Yeah.
So it was very easy. It was very easy to talk to people. A lot of similar experiences. Yeah, it just felt like it was a place that actually cared about what happened to you after you graduated. So.
And here we are after.
Exactly.
In Melbourne, in this amazing facility. So you graduated from ACTS, and then you made the decision to come over to Melbourne.
Yes.
So tell us about that transition.
So originally I was going to go to LA, but just to be close to family, I decided to come to Melbourne. So I made that call, I think in March when I came here for the Arnold Expo.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see, could I imagine myself living in the city and go to different clubs and just trying out and seeing what the feel was, and I knew it.
Straight away.
Straight away I was like, yes, this is me. This is where I want to be.
It's a beautiful place, Melbourne.
Yes.
Beautiful country, city.
And just people, a lot of different people. So it was, that was easy. So I remember, I can't remember what the exact line was. I remember it was in a session, Max session, but I think the question was something along the lines of Rowie asked, "Do you do what you do? Would you do what you do if you weren't paid for it?"
Yeah.
And then something along the lines of, if your answer is, I only go to work because I'm paid, well then you're a prostitute.
Yeah.
And that just stuck with me in my head. I was like, oh my God, like I am
A prostitute
here.
who gets paid to do something they don't want to do.
Exactly. And I was at my desk and I was like, I was thinking of waiting out till about May. So literally, I think it was the day after I came back from the Arnolds, I handed in my resignation. And then a month later in April, I resigned.
Yeah.
And it was easier for me because I was living at home.
Yeah.
At the time. So then I gave myself, I said, June, I want to be in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So then it was just planning and figuring out, where do I want to live? Like, where's good to live? And then looked at a lot of locations of health clubs. So I found a place. As soon as I found the place, booked my flights a week before, I packed my things, and that's it.
So why did you pick Fitness First?
So I went to quite a few different clubs. Number one for me probably would be the location and size of this club. It's quite big.
Yeah.
Where it is means that there's people from all over coming in. So whether they live here or further away. So a range of different professionals. And it was also this club.
And is that who you wanted to work with?
I didn't want to work with just one particular type of person. So I have students, I have a couple of elderlies, just a lot of different types of people, which is what I wanted, because I just want to keep, aside from training people, you learn different things. You learn a lot about, I guess, whatever field they're in as well. So I just wanted to keep being a sponge and keep learning from people around me.
Very different than accounting, because you don't actually get that human connection so much in accounting, do you?
It's very different. It's sometimes I just like coming home and not listening to anything, no music. I just like the stillness, which is so funny because when I was in accounting, it was
The opposite.
earphones in and you're in your own zone, just punching out your numbers.
Yeah.
So it's very different.
Yeah.
And the other major thing I think for this club was there's over 4,500 swipes a week, something like that. And we have 13 trainers, and there's one full-time female.
So how many members are there?
Members to this club, just because I'm not sure about the exact number of members that come here, just because...
So swipes mean there's about 4,500 people come through this club per week.
Visits, so it could be the same person coming in, like 20 times.
It's
so that many
activity.
visits. Yeah, exactly.
You're not sitting there alone twiddling your thumbs.
No.
So there's 13 trainers and there's only one female.
One full-time female and one that spends sort of half her time here and half somewhere else. So I looked at that and thought, that's a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
Location to home, and I guess just my rapport with other people. And I think for me as well, the other factor here was that as a level 1, you started off as an employee. So it was a little bit lower risk for me because I hadn't actually been in the industry as
Yeah.
such.
So this is your first induction into a commercial facility.
Exactly. So I thought, hey, that's a smarter idea because I can get a feel for the club, I can get a feel for the company, and then when I'm ready for it, I can, give my commitment and then be locked into this club.
Yeah.
So that if, for whatever reason, I was a nobody, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know anyone that had been at sort of a big club like this in the city. So it was just more understanding, what do I need to be aware of. And then, I guess put the work in. And
So how did you find that process? You came into a club. It's a big club. There's thousands of members. There's over a dozen trainers. So how did you find your space and your space in the club to grow your business? How did you approach it?
To be honest, when I started, I think before that, like picking where I was, I'd always ask to come in and visit because I'm looking at to try gyms.
Yeah.
So it's more, could I engage with people in conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's kind of how I approach the business. It's just understanding what people are doing or asking what they're, what they're struggling with. I think I talked about everyone having a gift, and I think for me, that's I think I go over and beyond to be kind to people. Giving them something valuable that they're going to remember. So sometimes that meant, like when I started, I would be at reception. So the club opens at 5.
Yeah.
So usually we take 6 months to go from level 1 to level 2.
Yeah.
So I put my application in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So literally 5 a.m. I would be in here to do my cardio,
Yeah.
so that I'd be showered and ready, looking fresh like a daisy, 6:30 when the club's busy.
Yep.
And then find something that people need. Whether it's they need a little bit of help doing a stretch because they're on the floor stretching and they can't help themselves,
Yep.
or they're on some cardio equipment and their drink bottle's half full.
Yeah.
Find an excuse to talk to people. Add value so that they can see, what is it about this person? What is it about them that makes them them? So I didn't try and be over jovial or very loud because that's not my personality.
Yeah.
So that's literally...
Be helpful.
Yeah, that's what I would do. If I see someone on a squat rack and they look like they're going to injure themselves because their form's terrible, go up to them and talk to them.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, my name's Meg. How are you going? What's your name, please? Cool. What are you doing today? Talk me through your workout. It looks pretty intense. Oh, do you actually know that, up to you, but your knees are coming in on that squat. Do you think you might want to take the weight back so you're not overloading there? Get the form right, and then we'll put the weight up. How do you feel? Good. Take the weight off. Make them squat a little bit lower. Make them work harder. Hey, isn't that a little bit harder? And it's actually better for you.
Yeah.
Cool. How do you feel if we do another set? Go on. You get on well. Talk to them about, if it's really tough for them, talk to them about what they feel like they're going through. And then at the end of it, it's very natural to say, hey, I've got some free time next week. Can I get your details? I'll follow up with you. We'll work on that squat.
Awesome.
Take them through something, and at the end of the day, it's, if you think about it as selling yourself, then of course you're going to sell yourself. You're going to be desperate and do whatever possible to get that phone number.
Yeah.
But if you look at, hey, how is this person struggling, or what value can I add to them? At the end of the day, who's the winner? That person.
It'll happen anyway.
Exactly. So that's kind of how I approached building business. And then with the classes, it was actually sitting down and thinking, cool, at this time, how many people do I usually get? What kind of people? I'm actually putting a little bit of thought into my programming.
Yeah.
Actually putting a little bit of thought into, hey, these people are beginners, so maybe this movement that I'm required to do, or sort of, I guess we have different formats here that we have to use, and it was like, should I tweak it a little bit because I actually don't agree. So it's just remembering, at the end of the day, if you're out there advocating certain things, that's your choice. So always standing up for what you believe in, and just being open.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now you're in a position where you're pretty much, this is what you do full time. So you've gone from full-time accountant to full-time fitness professional.
Yes.
You're now, you said before, you're earning more money than you were as an accountant?
Yep, and to be honest, I think I'm working, in terms of actual hours, probably 2/3 the amount of hours. So honestly, I would live at work, like 7 till 7, those sort of hours.
It's funny, I spoke to one of our students who's an engineer just the other day, and he said he's earning twice the amount of money and he's working half the hours, doing what he absolutely loves. And that's a common thing. And but the most important thing is, as you said, the money will come, and you have control of that, obviously. But the most valuable thing is I guess, how meaningful it is to you, and the satisfaction that you get out of doing what you love.
Exactly. I sleep very well. It's great. My alarm goes off and I'll check who I've got booked in, and it's exciting. It's I think it's the only career where you can choose who you work with and what hours, and who your clients are. It's fantastic. You have complete control. And I think that's one area where I've slipped back on a little bit. So I start at 6:30 in the morning sometimes, and I always wanted to have my evenings off.
Yeah.
But obviously when you start, you make a little bit of compromise.
Yeah.
And I started January, and I was thinking, when is this compromise going to end? So now it's having those conversations, and it's taking a bit of a hit. So I've dropped in sessions, but coming home earlier on Monday.
Because you choose to.
Because I choose to, and I mean, you deserve to. If you're up at crazy hours in the morning, you should not be in here.
But you get to finish early too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's Fridays used to be my worst day when I started, and now they're my best. So I'm in back to back out sort of 2:30, and that's it.
Wow.
So it's just, I think that's one of the toughest things when you're working for yourself. Maintain your commitment to the things that you've promised yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's no one there to enforce them but yourself.
You're so true. Yeah, it's easy to fool yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a lot. I mean, it's good to be giving to people, but you need to understand that there's a fine line. It is personal training. It's very personal. But at the end of the day, you can't. There's only so much you can do for people. You can't. You can give them all the tools. You can give them all the advice. But sometimes you just need to understand, hey, this is where my responsibility stops.
And they have to take ultimate responsibility anyway.
Yes.
So what's the short-term end game, I suppose? How many sessions do you want to build up to? How many classes? What would be the perfect week for you?
So at the moment, I'm doing 5 evening sessions. So I've gone from doing about 15 evenings to doing 5. So my aim is to get rid of those. And
just do all morning?
All morning up to sort of lunchtime. So about 2:30.
Yeah.
That would be the dream day.
There's no traffic on the way home either.
No. I mean, traffic never stops me anymore.
I
walk home, so it's really good. So my dream, I guess.
And how many sessions would you like to deliver?
I'd like to have sort of 40. But out of that, I want at least 6 to be sort of group focused. Because I feel like, yes, there is a value that I need to commit to myself. So I don't want to pick up those sessions by underselling. But then I see that there's a market where people can't actually afford personal training, but they need the help. Like sometimes I walk around here and I think group classes are fantastic. They're a great way for people to get into the gym. But it's also a great way for people to overtrain into themselves. And you're getting under, heavy weights. It's not easy to just pick it up through YouTube. So I want to be running sort of smaller sessions of up to 4 people going through the basics. So by the end of, say, that 6 to 8 week period, they've got a little bit more understanding of what they're actually doing, how they should be moving, what are the safety features of the equipment they're using. There's a reason why we're broken equipment all the time. So that's kind of what I want to be doing as well on the side. And I just want to pick up a little bit more through my lunchtime. So in terms of actual sessions, I need to pick up sort of 6 to 7 sessions in a week, which isn't bad, and then add in sort of 3 to 5 classes, and I'll be happy. So it's not hard.
So you're loving what you're doing?
Yes.
I remember Rory said she spoke to you once and she asked you a question, do you miss accounting? And do you remember what you said?
I think I said something along the lines of Oh, jump off a building.
Yeah,
I'll
I'd rather
never do
jump.
accounting again.
I'd rather jump off a building.
Yeah.
And it's not that accounting is not an important career, but it's just not the one for you. It didn't bring you happiness. And so it's
Exactly.
important to do things that make you happy and stop doing things that don't make you happy.
Exactly, and then it's funny, we always say we're miserable, there's more depression, well, stop forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do.
So true.
I guess my other, like I love what I'm doing at the moment, it's really good on a micro level, but I remember we had conversations about your impact, whether you want to just impact your community or a little wider, and just something keeps me thinking about India and this massive population of people that are growing and getting unhealthy, and just thinking about that. So that's kind of my next sort of aim, to start to develop some sort of an online platform, something that I can connect to people with, to help with the Indian diet. So I'm really good with nutrition and I'm really creative in the kitchen, so I've been working on a couple of things, so it's just being able to channel that, and then that way I don't need to be physically working as much.
No. It's great leverage, isn't it?
A little bit, because I remember in the business planning side we had sort of 4 quadrants, so I've made the move from employee to sole trader, but now I need to make the move again.
To business.
Yes, yes. So it's also, sometimes you get ahead of ourselves and we're like, oh, this is great, but this is the next thing. So I'm just trying to keep myself in the present moment and understand that I'm very happy and very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing. There is scope to improve, but there's no reason to stress yourself.
No.
So I want to be established, not comfortable, but not working as hard as I am, so have a little bit more time, like in the evenings, like I was saying, and then I'll start working on that next project. So I've got...
Well, the beautiful thing with technology is you can go from local to global.
Exactly.
The leverage.
Exactly.
So you talked about the program. So what is it about the program when you went through that you enjoy the most?
I think like the anatomy, all of that was great. Like that's fine. I mean, the business side is fine, but I think what really changed it for me was being in that room full of inspiring people.
Yeah. In the workshops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd always leave with a very positive thought. I'd feel motivated and have this self-belief, because I'd be sitting around people that, to be honest, had been through a lot harder. I think it gets harder as you're older. It's like, it's harder to move a big tree, an old tree, than it is to move a young tree, because the roots are a lot deeper. So I was looking at people that had kids, that had, financial responsibilities, that had the courage to make the change, and here was me at home just worrying about people and what they think and whether that'll be okay, and to be honest, that's quite surface level. It really puts your problems into perspective. So it was really, really eye-opening and empowering to be in a room of people of that caliber.
Doing stuff.
Yeah, actually doing stuff. And I remember you messaged me saying, no one's ever died doing what you're doing. And I still look at that sometimes. I look at it and, because with these group classes, I'm going to have to reschedule some people and do a bit of a restructure so I'm a little bit more efficient.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like what if, so-and-so is unhappy, and then no one's going to die.
No one's going to die.
It's not about...
It's not life and death.
No, it's not.
It's just a fitness
not like
class.
It's not like I'm in the, testing like rockets or nothing like that.
I always think third world. It's not like you're in the third world country looking for water. I think, and you're going to die of dehydration. So, it's good to put things into perspective. That your majors aren't really majors. They're
Exactly.
So Meghna, you've gone from unhappy accountant to now happy fitness professional, doing what you love, loving every single day. And you made that courageous change to take action, to go from transition from the accountant to fitness professional. And there are going to be a lot of other people out there who are maybe unhappy accountants, unhappy lawyers, unhappy office people, unhappy in their job, and they're probably chasing their pension rather than their passion, and they're trying to build up the courage to say, I want to go out of this comfort zone it's a comfort zone, but it's a comfort zone which is what I don't like, to go into this unknown zone of what I do like. And you've done that transition, and there are other people thinking about it. So what advice do you give them based on your experience of actually making that successful transition?
Stop dreaming and plan it. What's the worst? You'll fail and go back to doing what you're doing. But to be honest, if you're passionate about something, you will find a way. You won't mind working a little bit harder at the start. It's just getting it started. And one by one, you'll get used to the challenges. You'll get used to becoming successful. You'll get used to challenging yourself and rising to the challenge. It's funny, every time I thought at the start, I was like, I'm just going to be a personal trainer. And now I'm like, done it, kind of. I want to have a bigger impact. How do I do it?
Yeah.
And going from being an accountant that has a guaranteed salary, that knows what they're doing, that's the same file year after year, to going, maybe I want to go global and deal with other areas, and maybe I want to add some nutrition knowledge, and maybe this would be a good idea. It becomes an addiction to be successful. So it's just ask for the help. Ask for, how do I do it? And it is possible. I guarantee someone in a situation, I guess, more difficult or more high pressure than you would have done something crazy and come out so much better for it. Sounds cliche, but you have one life. I'm only going to be 25, 26, whatever, once. Why not remember those years? Because at the end of the day, no one's going to care if you've got 100,000 or 100 million in your bank account. It's the time and the memories that you carry with you. So that's what I'd say. Just give it a go. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? You'll just go back to doing what you're doing. At least you gave it a shot.
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your wise words. And I remember we were looking at doing this interview earlier on, because I knew you were going to become successful when you came over here. And you said, I'm not proven yet. Do you feel proven now?
I think there's a lot of scope. But in terms of proven, if we're to talk about changing people's lives, I think so. I had a woman this morning who was an ex-athlete who'd had a serious injury, and she'd done some box jumps, and she looked at the box and said, Meg, I can't do that. I was a lot smaller back then, and I can't do it. And I said to her, I'm not going to set you up for failure. Maybe you might fail today, you might fail next week, but you'll ultimately get it. Second jump, got it. Emotional.
Sometimes people just need that little words of encouragement. Yeah.
So it's just, if you make changes like that and people walk away after you've given them like a bashing, and they're sweating and they're just, they're really pushing themselves, and they say thank you. You've done something for someone.
Wow. So there's nothing much more fulfilling than that, is it?
No, I obviously you can see from the smile on my face. It's brilliant.
Did you have that smile when you were doing your accounting?
Oh yeah, this reconciles. No.
And someone has to do that, but maybe the person that does that should not be you. Should be someone who's really passionate about numbers, and whatever you do, chase your passion, not your pension, right?
Exactly.
Thank you so much. And if you want to, anyone else to come and contact Meghna, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
Best way would be via my email. So that's Meghna, Meghna at Megafit, meghafit.com. So, always free to give me a question.
Fantastic. Well, chase your passion. Thank you, Meghna.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen.